Welcome to the mat. Welcome to the moment. I would suggest having a block for this practice and something to sit up on so that you're at ease seat. You may want 2 blocks for some bungee stuff, or who knows what else. We'll see what the muse invites us to, but definitely at least 1 block as we're going to do some core work. If this is a moon flowing womb bearers, then you may not do as much or as intense of the core work. Please pause as needed. And we're going to be really looking at stabilizing the SI joint and creating that strong central channel. So there I kind of want to say core, but often we think of core as abs. And this is a bigger stretch of area, as well as it's really about stabilizing and bringing all parts of ourself together in a steady way, where injury is less apt to happen in our practice and steadiness is more to show up in life. There's some visiting bees today. Put out some of the old beehive stuff and it's being scavenged. It's very wet. We have a break with sun, so I had to come outside. Please take any movements or props that you need to come into a relatively still place, which we call kaya stadium, that relative stillness that invites us into other sensing. So beginning to sense inward. Greetings, body. Follow the path of the breath in and observe the way that the breath moves the body. And play with whether you can deepen and lengthen the breath and where else in the body you can send breathful awareness. Even if you technically know maybe the breath can't go into certain areas, nonetheless, we can imagine and thereby draw more oxygenated blood and circulation into that area. And there's just the awareness and the attention to these different areas of themselves might bring us more information about what is needed in the body today, about what wants to be known, what's ready to move or change. As we come into relative stillness, we're able to sense inwardly into the more subtle things. And if in this listening to your body, you hear or feel the impulses to move, to wiggle, to rock, then please do. We'll take another minute or so, maybe 6 breaths more here. And begin to make your way to a relative stillness. Bring the fingers out alongside the hips and press down into the fingers, bounce off of gravity there, and lift your heart up to the sky, your head up to the sky. Breathe into the clear channel of the center of your being. Imagining life flowing to you, through you, as you, unimpeded. And here, let us give thanks for our ancestors, for all those who've come before us on this path, the ancestors of the teachings. Thank you for the wisdom. May we open to the knowing that is there in our own bones and in the earth beneath us. And following the inhale, open the arms wide and gather up out of the waist a little there. And then bring the hands together and center and focus. Press into, work the shoulders together on the back and lift the heart to the hands. See if you can sense your heartbeat and imagine into any word, mantra, or image that lights up your heart, that you would direct the energy of your practice to. Exhale and empty. Inhale your heart's yes, if you will. Join me. One great Om. And let's flow the hands down, roll out, shake out, unfurl yourself, and come to the mat. Have a block nearby if you've got one, or some sort of thing to squeeze onto as we move in. Use it right away, but again, just have it in reaching distance. Oh, the bugs are out. All right, hug your knees in. Give a little rock into your back body. Breathe your back body. Breathe the sky down into your heart. And if you will, just imagine yourself the earth here for a moment, your body of earth, just welcoming that sky breath down, and sky breath washing through your body, washing out any tension or busyness or distraction, and just flowing it right down into the earth. All right, we're going to begin with some work. Extend the legs up to the sky, and let's cross your right ankle over the left and flex the ankles strongly. So really draw the toes back so the ankles are straight and strong, and they're crossed and hooked so that you can't break them apart. But make like you're going to try to. So keep that hook, and now pull on the, feel those outer muscles kick in, inner thighs. Maybe you can feel the core kick in. I feel especially the external obliques there, a little deep core. You could hang out here and play with that because there's a lot of core happening there. And then if you're ready for more, you could hold your head or not. We're going to keep the head on the floor at first and keep the shoulders on the earth. Crucial here, do not let the shoulders try to help you. Keep the scapula on the back and pressed fully into the earth. Inhale, keep that hook and squeeze, and exhale, heels up, navel back, sacrum up. And now imagine that right where your legs are, there's a pole right there. And we're going to do that again, but we're going to lift and switch the legs, or switch the hips and the legs to either side of that pole. So here we go. Again, any way that the arms feel good to keep the shoulders on the back. Inhale, press, resist. Exhale up and to one side. Back to center and extend the ball and take that arm, same arm as your bottom leg, cross body. Press into the outside of that forearm and the outside of the top leg thigh. Bottom leg just extends, hangs out there actively about 45 degrees. And you can hold your head here if you like, head and shoulders up. Press, resist, navel back. On back, you can let the legs rest, shake everything or anything out there that you like. And then when you're ready, we're going opposite ankle on top. Flex the feet strongly so the ankles are hooked and actively press the sides here. But we don't let that happen. Feel the strength there. Rest as you like or when you're ready. Inhale, we're going to go straight up and down in the center with your breath. For 5, 4, and then there's that pull in center. We're going about 5 or 7 to either side, depending on your speed. Keep those shoulders pinned. Keep that pull in center. Those flex, pressing, pulling into each other. Inhale, exhale, lift, switch. And take your time. Once you're done, come on back to center. Hold the head with your same hand as your top leg. Lower that bottom leg about 45 degrees and take that arm, cross body, press into the back of the forearm and the outer thigh. Press, resist, navel back. And pause, hug in or shake out, whatever feels good there. And I want to invite you to let the legs widen. You could hold the knees here for a moment and just kind of rock into the back body. Soften your jaw and let's extend the legs out. If it feels better for you, the knees could stay bent. Could be more like frog legs here. Otherwise, legs stick straight out and toes rotate and point towards the earth as much as you can. You could give a little rub, squeeze to your inner thighs here, awakening and engaging or encouraging the adductor muscles to relax, let go. They're just gripping on most of the time. And just give them a little break. Let the weight of the legs invite some opening there. Inhale, arms up overhead. Reach long. You might take a little wiggle along. Inhale, and as you exhale, curl tailbone up and reach the arms through the legs. And exhale. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet together, knees wide. Hold your ankles and roll the head and shoulders back to the earth. And then let your feet and your knees drop heavy as you can away from center. So holding ankles, feet, and legs heavy, heavy. And then slowly turn the head to one side. Feel how you're tractioning that jaw, neck, shoulder connection. So soft in the jaw, let it go. And slowly move through center. If you need to reset the legs, again, let them be as heavy as you can. Roll the head as far to the other side as you can. Soft, soft jaw. Breathful. And then come on back to center. Here's where we're going to grab our block and bring the block so that short, narrow end is facing you or sky between your upper inner thighs. Nice and cozy and friendly like. Squeeze onto that block and imagine spinning it down to the earth. So squeeze in and Roll it down. And then let's get the elbows very active alongside of you. Press into the elbows, squeeze the shoulders on the back, keep that chin lifted. Inhale here and exhale as you root into the heels. Keep pouring block down and lengthen up, lengthen up. Shoulders on the back, lift the chin. Press into the center back of the head and deep full breaths here. And you could stay there and clasp the hands, or you could exhale and ripple back down. Inhale, squeeze that block and pour it down as you ripple back up. All the while, keep the chin lifted, chin perpendicular to the earth, and the shoulder blades really rooted into the earth. Again, at any point, you could interlace the hands behind you, squeeze the shoulders on the back, and pull them down towards your heels. Big breaths wide across the wings of your heart. And we're going to be here 4 or 5 more breaths if you'd like to. Squeeze that block and extend one leg straight out. So the knees are in alignment, the thighs are in alignment, the heel of one leg is just reaching straight out from there. And then other side. Release and ripple on down. And you could take your block away, put it off to the side or wherever for a little bit. And then yogi's choice. Maybe you create a little rock and roll on your spine until you come onto your hands and knees, or just roll over and find your way to hands and knees. And at first, we'll press the hips back. Balasana, child's pose. Breathe your lower back. Give a little wiggle wag to your tail there. And then with the arms extended out in front of you, come up onto the fingertips. Hollow out your palms and actively pull on the fingertips. You're hollowing out the armpits. Shoulders plug more into the back. Heart reaches forward, and breathe that stretch or whatever sensations are rising around the shoulder, thoracic spine, behind the heart. Simply breathful or Brahmari, bee's breath. Inhale, reach out, rotate, work thumbs towards the earth, breathe out, rotation in your shoulders. Again, maybe a little stretch in the thoracic spine. And then bring the hands together, bend into the elbows and walk the elbows forward. Reach the heart to the earth, breathe here. Inhale, interlace the hands, or just bring the palms together and press strongly into the palms. Either way, get some press into the palms, and you're on the knees now, the elbows under the shoulders, hands press or squeeze, shoulders widen and soften the heart down into that space. Inhale and turn your toes under, lift from the hips up, dolphin dog. Pull back from the core, relax the neck. Inhale, lengthen out there as you exhale, lift from the navel and ripple forward into dolphin plank. You can walk the feet back as far as you like or need to there. And then again, inhale, pull up and back into dolphin dog. And then we're going to kind of find that middle place where you can pulse from dolphin plank to dolphin dog without moving the feet. Please be sure that as you come forward, you don't let the hips or the waistline drop out. If that feels weak and it really wants to drop out, then lower the knees and lift the lower ribs, lift the navel, and find as much neutrality in the spine as you can. This is such good core work here, which is very supportive for the lower back. But if we end up coming in and dropping out like I'm doing now, then that is going to compress the lower back, and we're kind of defeating our purpose in so many ways here. Next time you come forward, lower on down to your belly, and let's come on to the forearms. You can open the hands up, elbows straight under the shoulders and hands directly out from the elbows. Sphinx pose, activate the legs, make them very strong, push down through pubic bone and sacrum so you're strongly rooted and anchored, and then pull with your forearms and drag your heart forward. Work the shoulders on the back. Big breaths here. And then the hands back underneath the shoulders. If you like, you could take a moment and rest your head and roll your shoulders around. My sweater is being problematic, so just going for a costume change here. Please take care of yourself as needed. And then we're coming into Cobra. Hands under the shoulders. Make the legs strong again, like your snake's tail there. Hug in. Pull on the earth, elbows and shoulders down the back. Point through the toes and press into pubic bone and unfurl your spine up and long cobra. Inhale and exhale, drag yourself forward and lower down. Really activate the legs. See if you can get the legs and the fulcrum of the sacrum and pubic there so strong that it almost doesn't feel like you're pressing at all, but you're with the hands, that is. But just that press of the fulcrum is just making the spine want to lift up like a cobra. And then we could slither back down. Wiggling and hissing are welcome. Last couple breaths. Toes under. And I turn a potential child here into a rabbit. So toe pads under, pressed back, almost like child's pose. But then we're going to take a rabbit variation here today. I'm not going to do both of them, but let's interlace the hands and squeeze palms together and then pull on that like you're trying to pull it apart as you lift the arms up to the sky and overhead towards the floor. Lift your hips up and come to the crown of the head. Squeeze those hands and pull on them. Lift them up to the sky and then overhead towards the earth. Your toes turned under. Press into the head a bit like Tadasana. So the difference between just standing, hanging out, and standing active, alert, engaged in the spine. Last breath. And pull up from your hands, roll up to sit on your heels. At first, we're just going to stretch out the feet here. So really let the weight drop back into the feet as much as you can breathfully bear, and maybe even spread the toes out so they all get a nice stretch there. And we'll bring some exciting breath into that to distract us. Inhale down into the feet and exhale tongue to chin, eyes to lion's breath. Inhale, open up, big squeeze to the core. Big stretch of your face, a few more. Detoxing breaths. And exhaling out physical toxins as well as any tensions or any emotional stuff you want to let go of. Beautiful, nice, fierce work. And let's release onto the front tops of the feet and give your toes a little love tap. And then we're going to take that block again between the thighs and squeeze. Find padding free. Squeeze onto your block and spin that block back behind you. Push down through the hips. Lift up through the heart. And at first, you can walk the hands back to the back body and really work the elbows and shoulders together on the back as much as you can. Move the hips forward without splaying and moving the block forward. So you want to really feel like you're spinning the block back behind you. Lengthen, keep that action, and move the hips forward. And feel how that's just going to give you a little more space in the lower back. And if you don't believe me, play with it. Find that. And you could stay here. You could come in and out of this. You could turn the toes under to get your heels closer. Or if you're pretty back bendy, they could stay released. And inhale, let's fly one and back. You come back where it came from or back to your heel. Other arm, flow it back, again, back where it came from or back into your heel. Again, you could play with those swimming arms and come in and out or find a breathful edge of camel here. Press the hips forward, zip up, strong core, pubic bone to navel, squeeze the shoulders, lift your heart. If this is a lot on your neck, you could dip the chin and look downward. Otherwise, if you can really squeeze the shoulders together, you can actually get nice support for your neck here. And you could even stretch the bottom teeth over the top teeth and stretch out your jaw. Throat. I know that wasn't a pretty sound. It's okay. Last big bright inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the block and lift from your core. Come on up. Now, options, if you really need to, you could let the block go. Otherwise, I want to encourage you to keep a hold of that block as we move into some fluid waves of spine. So, hands to the earth, toes under, pull up and back, downward dog. You could take a moment there to just wag your tail, keep pulling back from the core, really spread those fingers out and claw the earth. Make sure your elbows and knees have some bounce in them, that they're not locked out at all. Inhale there as you exhale. Bend the knees and tuck back. Pull your hips back to your heels. All the breath out there. Next inhale, lift and roll through like a wave through your spine into plank. You could lower the knees if you need to. Press back with knees lowered, or just tuck, lift, and like a wave through the spine, unfurling into a nice strong plank. Again, really squeeze onto that block and try not to let hips or the waistline drop out. So you want to end up in plank with ears, shoulders, ribs, and hips in a nice clear alignment. That dropping out again is just really self-defeating here. So support with the knees if you need to. And then on the knees, you look for that same alignment, engaging ribs and hips, shoulders and ribs and hips and ears. There it is. There it is. And back. All right, with your breath, a few more. And then back to down dog. In yogi's choice, you could kind of walk the feet to the hands or the hands to the feet. And I know you got a block between your legs. We're going to keep it a little longer, or imagine you've got it, and spin that block back behind you. Push into the earth and lengthen your spine. Half forward fold. Keep squeezing onto the block. You could push into your shins, lift the shoulders into the earth or blocks. And then let's really strengthen that. So maybe you play with just reaching one arm forward, straight from the hip. Again, trying to plug in and align there. Maybe both arms. Bend as much as you need. Few breaths. And then sink the seat down and open the upper body up. Sink in. Keep with that block. Spin it down towards the earth. And drop low. Follow any inhale, press and rise. Standing back bend. And exhale, we're going to drop low. Really try to spin that block down as you sink down and keep it as you lift into any breathful edge of back bend. We're doing a few more of those. Inhale, press and rise, heart to sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half forward fold, and exhale, fold. Release your block. All right, but pretend you've still got your block. Try to keep that sense of block there as you squeeze the inner thighs together and step the left foot back. So you're in a right leg lunge. Now this could go all sideways and disconnected, but we want to really feel into connection. So make like you've got your block there, hug into it. Pull both feet towards each other without moving them. Squeeze your glutes so you feel the psoas wrap. Pull on the earth, shoulder blades down the back. Hug the hips so they're as squared as you can, as level front to back as you can. The glutes are really engaged. Draw here. Inhale, keep that squeeze to center. Shift some weight into the back foot so you begin to even out the weight in the feet and come in and rise up. Hands to hips. You could bend the knees as much, back knee, as much as needed and drop it down. Front knee over the ankle, put down, lift up out of the waist, elbows and shoulders on the back. So keep the pelvic tilt as square as you can there, as neutral as you can, I should say. And the hip points level as you can, like headlights, right in line with each other. Try to keep that as maybe you send a leg back, and as maybe you add sending the arms to the sky. And deep full breaths here, breathe. Big inhale as you exhale, shift the weight forward. You could bring the hands to heart, to any props, supports, or flying arms as you like. Lift the back leg up and fly into warrior three. Again, here, pretend you've got your block, squeeze onto it and spin it out, back and away. Push through the heel and the head and even out once again here as much as you can. Ears, shoulders, ribs, hips, and in this case, back heel as well. Strong, evenly weighted into the standing foot. Ribs and hips are connected. Spine is long, back of the neck is long. Soft bend in the standing knee. Last breath or two. Exhale and step the feet together nearby each other. Sink low, sweep the fingers on the earth, open up. Exhale, drop in. Inhale, press and rise, standing back bend. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. You can always bend the knees as much as you need in the forward fold. You can always pulse in and out of it. Or it's a great little moment for a shakeout, massage. Last breath or two in the fold. And then again, imagine you've got your block. Squeeze onto it, spin those thighs back, keep that hug to core, and shift the weight into the left leg. Step the right foot way, way back. Again, notice how without awareness and attention there, things could again really get askew and go sideways. Try to keep that hug into the block as you extend the leg back. Spin the thighs back, your block back, and reach through the heel, reach through the heart. Pull on the earth, front knee right over the ankle. Breathful here as you squeeze to midline. Play into what it feels like to hug the hips square here. And to be breathful in the efforting. So there's Shtira Sukha, effort and ease. And then slowly shift some weight into the back foot. So we're moving towards evening the weight out. Push into the front foot, hug in and rise up, hands to hips. And with that, level your hips out side to side and front to back as much as you can. So if you can feel those hip points on the front and really have them level like you would want your headlights. So you might drop the back knee down to find some more freedom there and stretch and tilt the pelvis. So tailbone down, navel up, squeeze onto that block, quote unquote, of course. Hug in there. Lengthen up out of that, elbows and shoulders back, front knee right over ankle. Back leg could extend back as far as you like, as much as you can, and keep that sacrum even the pelvic bowl and neutral. Your jaw soft and your breath full. Stay with that, or as inspired again, reach the arms up and stretch out through back heel or just hug into core, whatever feels more essential there. Ultimately, a bit of both. Hug and stretch, muscular and organic. Shtira and Sukha. Steadiness and ease. Practice today, focusing on that balance of hugging into who we are, to what we are, and allowing enough softness, spaciousness, and curiosity to see what else. Inhale, and when you're ready, shift forward. Hands could come to any supports, heart or flying. And warrior three. Again, try to level out side to side and front to back. So the inseam of that extended leg spins to the sky, toes point straight to earth, and spread out and pull back towards the core. Spine long, long, back of the neck long. Long, 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 long. Even weighted on the standing foot. And slow and steady, next exhale or so, go ahead and bring the feet together. Sink in, sweep the fingertips, open up. Exhale, drop low. Inhale, press and rise, standing back bend. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway, and exhale, fold. Again, we'll take 3 or 4 breaths here. Any hugging, shaking, massaging, pausing, playing as inspired. And then from here, you could keep the feet closer together or part them as needed. We're going to open the knees and sink the seat down. Lift the knees as high as you can onto your triceps or shoulders. So you might lift up high onto your tiptoes. Spread the fingers out, hands as wide as the shoulders. Claw the earth. Work the knees into the arms and the arms back into the knees. So there's a press resist here and lots of core work. And that might just be where you're at today. Press, resist, breathe that hug, that core work. Feel what happens here for you. Listen to the body. What's present? What's needed? What wants to move or change? And stay with that or continue to squeeze. Lift your hips and look forward. Lift your hips and look forward. Shift the weight forward. All the fingertips. Keep shifting forward until you just feel the legs get light and wanting to come up. Maybe it's just one leg, but usually if you find that center point of balance and you shift forward enough with active hands and active core, the feet just want to float up together. Try to touch the toes even, or even the whole inseam of the feet. Stay as you like or come down, Malasana, yogic squat. And then you could lift up a little higher for just your Malasana. Feet could step as wide as you need. Make sure knees and toes point in the same direction. If there is a lot of laxity in the hips, you might want to press resist here as well and keep some muscle engagement instead of just dropping into it. If you're tight here, then that sense of awe and just surrendering into it may be better for you. So listen in here. Are there any movements, adjustments? Is more shtira or more sukha needed? More steadiness and strength, or more ease and letting go? And this is our practice, always seeking that discipline, that balance, seeking the equilibrium, which of course is a constant state thing of flux and flow of motion. Equilibrium isn't like, we got it, that's it. It's an always happening thing. And so it is. If you'd like to, you could move through a vinyasa here, maybe even back up into crow and through a vinyasa. Otherwise, just come to sit. I am going to throw in a little crow to vinyasa, flying back from crow. And that's optional for you. We're going to come to sit next. You might have 2 blocks with you. Inhale and stretch back. If you're moving through your vinyasa, hop or step through mindfully and come into Dandasana, an extended leg seat, drawing the toes back. All right, so I'm going to offer some core work here, arm and core work. You may want a block or 2 for this. You may want 2 blocks or no. One block could be really awkward, because what I want to invite you to is to, if you feel like you're one of those people that has short arms, I hear people say that. I don't know if it's really a thing, but I know that muscles can be tight, which can keep them contracted more and feel shorter. But I suppose that is something I should learn. And if people actually have short arms for their body. So if that's for you, or if you're not very strong in this way, you may want to have blocks next to you to support you in this lift. Otherwise, I'm a gangly, langly, long arm person, so I'm not going to use the blocks, even though they're really helpful if you're trying to do the hop through thing. It's great training for that, what we're about to do. And it's something I've kind of accepted here at almost 50 that I'm not going to do in my life. So anyways, here we are, Dandasana. Arms right next to you, strong on the earth. It is possible. This is your practice. Hands strong, shoulders squeezing, sit bones rooted, heels digging in, pulling back, legs pressing down, or knees bent and just the heels pulling back. Whatever you need to lift the lower back, lift your heart. Lots of muscular action in this pose right now. It looks like I'm sitting around maybe, but lots of muscular action is happening, like a workout, just sitting here. So you could stay and play with that, or you could begin to play with pushing into your blocks or the earth next to you. Inhale, and as you exhale, lift from the navel, come up. Maybe one leg up, maybe pick both legs up and come back down. And we'll just pulse that. You could also play with the rotation of the hands. I tend to like to have them out to the side, but there is, or can be, a little more strength for this lift. So play with that. Inhale and exhale, pull up from the core. Again, maybe lift one leg, maybe both. A lot's happening there. I do kind of wish I had 2 blocks here. They're somewhere. The raccoon's been eating them. Yeah, been a while since I did that one. All right, so once we've done that scoop and tone a little bit, then you might want to roll the wrists out. So you could make those figure 8s, roll your wrists. I also like to kind of pour the hands together, backs of the hands together, and press into them, spreading the fingers out. You can roll that up or down a little bit. And just this whole roll through here. Great. So that's just if you need it. Shakeout's good. And then I want to invite you into an uplifting moment. So we're going to go into Purvottanasana. Hands could face back or forward. Classically, it's taught with the fingers turning forward. I'm going to take about 4 or 5 breaths in each, and you just see what's right for you. I'm really wanting to roll my shoulders open right now, so I'm turning the fingers back, clawing the fingers down, lifting the heart up. Again, that's a great edge. Stay there. Make sure there's some little bend in the elbows so they're not trying to take the stretch for the shoulders. And then push through the feet, squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, and breathe here. Please stay with that as you like, or come on out. Again, you might roll out the shoulders and the wrists. We're going for the other direction. Hands as wide as the shoulders, fingers pointing towards you. Still roll the shoulders in the back and down. Spread the fingers out and claw the earth. Squeeze and lift the heart. Breathe and repeat your heart's yes. And as inspired, point through the toes, squeeze your booty, lift your hip. Squeeze your shoulders, lift your heart. And then slow and steady release down. Again, you might roll out the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders as you come down. So we're just having a short practice today, but you have got lots of core and arm work and leg work in all in that little time. So what I want to invite you to do next is you may want a pillow or a folded blanket or something for this, especially if it's wet and there's all kinds of creepy crawly things. And we'll put the pillow against a wall. Hopefully you've got an open wall. If not, it could be the bed or the couch. And your legs we're going to put our legs up. So your legs don't have to go all the way up. They could be bent at the knees so that just your calves are resting on a bed or couch or something. Tables, low tables will work. Otherwise, here's a way to get into it. One hip on the wall. And then see if you can keep connected there. Can be tricky as you scoot around and you lie on your back with the legs up the wall, or again, knees could be bent, calves resting on some furniture. Find the variation that's right for you. Get your seat as much on the wall as you can. So you might do some awkward scooting there. You could also have the bolster or support more under the sacrum low back so that the tailbone pours over the bottom edge of it. See what feels most supportive for you. And then resting here, you can stay legs straight up the wall. You could play with feet together, knees wide at the wall. You could play with legs wide at the wall. And you could simply hold any shape that you're choosing to take at the wall. Or if you'd like to, here, a little last bit of core. Inhale, hands behind the head, shoulders on the back. Try to keep the shoulders on the back and the elbows wide so that you're not pulling with the head at all here. You're going to exhale, pull the navel back, the ribs to hips, and just support your head in lifting up so the shoulders just lift off the earth a bit. Chest in this way comes straight up to the sky. And it's not a crunch. You're not curling in, but the ribs are crunching, as if you will, towards the hips. It's very similar. We're just keeping the pull of the head and neck out of this. Oftentimes there's a mirroring of issues in the neck and lower back. We're just looking to keep everything pretty aligned and connected and strong today in as much of a symmetrical way as these asymmetrical bodies like to do. Sometimes that asymmetry gets extra thrown off by things we do in life. And our bodies are going to let us know that when the asymmetry needs balancing. And then we just do symmetrical practices for a while. Especially muscular engaging symmetrical practices. But once you do your bit of core work there, if you want to, there was your Shtira. And now I invite you just a big inhale. Squeeze and Sukha. Let go. Give your body to the earth. Open your heart and mind to the sky. Soften your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Arms could open out to the sides or rest on the body if you need more grounding. And just imagine the great wide open sky above you. And the breath of that sky just flowing down over the mountains and valleys of your physical form, washing, softening. Notice when the mind contracts to a thought or a sensation. And then again, open back up to sky. Maybe in that sky, see a bird circling in the far distance. Rays of sunlight playing in the clouds. Maybe it's just wide open blue sky. Let your awareness way, way out. And please stay resting in that as long as you like or are able. When you're ready to come back, let it be the breath that brings you back. Breath awareness, intentional breaths, breathing your mantra, your yes, deepening and lengthening that breath, that bright connection to your yes to life. Let the breath move you. As the breath gets deep and full, what wants to move? Where else does the breath want to go? What parts of the body want to receive more breath or little wiggles and stretches, awakening? And this could be a very long, slow process, and stay resting as long as you like. Pause in your transitions on one side, then in a seat. Take time to honor and thank yourself for showing up and being present for all layers of being, in the challenge, in the ease. We find that practice, equilibrium, Shtira and Sukha, giving and being with just enough challenge to get stronger, and receiving and being with just enough ease to digest and integrate, heal and renew. Shtira and Sukha. Bring the apparent opposites together into center, feeling the blessing of center, being centered, being in relative balance and equilibrium. It's a dance, it's a practice, it's lifelong. If you'd like to join me in a closing Om, please exhale and empty, and inhale your heart. Join me in one great Om. Namaste. Thank you for your presence and your practice. Please reach out with any questions or comments. And have a wonderful whatever's next for you.